Hello there, dear Christian friends. As a Christian, you know that all the comfort our soul needs for the walk in this life comes from above. And what comes from above? The gospel. I would like to read to you a passage from the gospel according to St. Luke, a wonderful event. Now that same day, this is Luke 24. Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them. They did not recognize who it was. Jesus asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, said, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem and do not know the things that have happened there in these days?" "What things?" he asked. "About Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. And what is more, it is the third day since this took place. In addition, some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but him they did not see." He said to them, "How foolish you are, and how slow of heart to believe that what all the prophets have spoken. Did not the Christ have to suffer these things and then enter his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all the prophets, Jesus explained to them what was said in all the scriptures concerning himself. As they approached the village to which they were going, Jesus acted as if he were going farther. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening. The day is almost over." So he went in and stayed with them. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Then their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he disappeared from their sight. They asked each other, "Were not our hearts burning while he was with us and talked with us on the road?" So they got up and returned at once to Jerusalem. There they found the 11, and those with them assembled together, saying, "It is true, the Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then the two told what had happened on the way and how Jesus was recognized by them when he broke the bread. And get this, while they were still talking, Jesus himself came and stood among them and said, "Shalom." This story I want to share with you. Sometimes we cannot see Jesus. That doesn't mean that he is not with us. I would pray that the Lord kept you from all fear in these uncertain times of the coronavirus. You know, we are easily scared because we are so limited in our understanding of things and in our power to alter things and direct our ways through life. The Lord hopefully has spared each one of you from being frozen in fear. You know, we hear the expression and we might use it ourselves. "I was so scared that I was frozen in fear." I pray that the Lord has defrosted you from fear with His presence in your life and with His joyful reassurance that you belong to Him and that He leads you by the hand through difficult times, such as we are experiencing today in our world. The two disciples on the road to Emmaus were, so to speak, frozen in time. They were going home, and they must have hung around Jerusalem all day long, waiting and waiting and waiting for news. What is going to happen, and what did happen, and did Jesus actually resurrect? They must have left just before sunset, because it's only 7 miles from Jerusalem to Emmaus. And normal human beings walk about 3.1 miles, that's our average, per hour. So it would have taken just over 2 hours to go that course. But it got dark, and they were afraid of the dark. All bad things happen in the dark when the road is unknown to us, such as now, the coronavirus. Then Jesus reveals Himself to them. And that certainty in their hearts that He is indeed alive and well gives them the courage to ignore darkness, no longer to be afraid of anything, especially not for their precious human lives on earth. They run back to the disciples and they said, "It is true, the Lord has appeared to us." And while they were still talking, Jesus shows Himself to them. And He says, "Peace be to you." And that's my message to you today. Peace be to you. So long.